At just 10 years old, Amaka stood in front of a boarding school, crying, confused, and completely alone. Not for one term. Not for 1 year. Forever. What happens to a child when the people who were supposed to love her the most forget her? If you've ever felt abandoned, if you've ever cried in silence, if you believe in rising from nothing, this story is for you. Grab your headphones, tissues, and heart, because this is one story you will never forget. This is how it all started. Amaka sat in the back seat of the black SUV, her little fingers tracing patterns on the window as they drove past big houses and quiet streets. She wore her new school uniform, a white shirt tucked into a green skirt, white socks pulled to her knees, and shiny black shoes. Her hair was neatly packed into cornrows, and her small brown suitcase sat beside her on the seat. "Mummy, are you sure I have to stay there all by myself?" she asked, glancing at her mother in the front seat. Her father kept his eyes on the road. Her mother turned slightly. "It's just school, Amaka. You'll be fine. This is the best boarding school in the country. You'll thank us later." "But I've never been away from home before," Amaka said, her voice small. "Can't I come home every weekend?" "No," her father said shortly. "Boarding school is full term. You'll come home at the end of the term. That's how proper children grow. You'll become independent." Amaka didn't understand what independent meant, but the way her daddy said it made her go quiet. They soon drove through a tall, white gate with big iron bars. A signboard said, "St. Bernadette's Elite School, raising future leaders." The compound was wide and beautiful, with trimmed grass and big trees. The buildings were tall and painted cream with green roofs. Older students in smart uniforms walked past, carrying books and laughing in small groups. The school looked like a palace, but Amaka felt a cold stone in her chest. The car stopped in front of the reception. A woman in a green and white uniform walked up and opened the door. "Welcome, sir. You must be Mr. and Mrs. Okoye. And this must be Amaka. Such a pretty girl." Amaka gave a small smile. Her father got out and opened the boot, bringing out her box and her water bottle. Her mother helped hang her backpack over her shoulder. "We've already signed all the documents," her mother told the woman. "Her things are all labeled. She's in JSS 1, right?" "Yes. We'll take good care of her. Don't worry." Amaka looked up quickly. "Wait. Mummy, Daddy, are you not coming inside with me?" "No need," her dad said, checking his watch. "We're running late." "But..." Her mother leaned down and hugged her tight. Too tight. "Be a good girl, okay? Listen to your teachers. Don't cry. I'll see you on visiting day, right?" Amaka asked, voice shaking. There was a pause. "Of course," her mother said. But her voice cracked. Amaka looked up at her mother's face. She wasn't smiling. Her father had already turned back to the car. "Let's go." "Wait." Amaka ran a few steps after them, holding her backpack straps. "Mummy, I want to come home with you." The woman at the reception gently held her hand. "It's okay, dear. You'll love it here." The SUV engine started. Amaka's father didn't look back. Her mother waved weakly from the window. In 2 seconds, the car was gone, turning around the curve and disappearing past the gates. They didn't even go inside with her. Amaka stared at the space where the car had been. Her chest felt tight. Her eyes burned. She turned to the woman beside her. "They said they'll come back, right?" The woman smiled kindly. "Of course, sweetheart. Come, let's show you your dormitory." Amaka followed her slowly, looking back at the gate every few seconds. The tears came before she reached the hostel. She tried to blink them away, but they kept falling. She cried quietly, wiping her face with the back of her hand. Inside, the hostel was large and neat. Bunk beds were arranged in rows. There were little cupboards beside each one. Some girls were already there, unpacking their boxes and chatting. "This is your bed," the woman said. "Top bunk. We'll help you settle in." Amaka nodded slowly. She unpacked her box, folded her clothes like Mummy taught her, and arranged her toothbrush and comb. Everything felt strange. Her bed was too hard. The room smelled of polish and soap. Everyone around her had a parent who came inside. They were hugged, helped to lay their beds, even kissed on the forehead. Amaka sat quietly on the bunk and looked at the empty space around her. Her parents were gone. Just like that. That night, Amaka couldn't sleep. The other girls snored softly, their shadows dancing on the wall from the dim yellow bulb. Amaka turned to the wall and cried into her pillow. "Mummy, Daddy, please come back." But the darkness didn't answer. Only silence. And the sound of a little girl's heart breaking. The next morning, Amaka woke up to the sound of the hostel bell ringing. Girls were rushing to the bathroom with buckets. Some were brushing their teeth, others tying their towels, laughing and chatting. Amaka sat up on her bunk and looked around. For a second, she forgot where she was. Then it hit her, the bed, the metal lockers, the unfamiliar faces. She was in school. And her parents were gone. She dressed up slowly and followed the others out, holding her small plastic bucket. Her toothbrush trembled in her hand as she brushed beside other girls. Nobody said anything to her. Nobody knew her. After assembly and breakfast, the new students were grouped and taken to their classrooms. Amaka sat on the second row. Her name was called during roll call. Amaka Okoye. "Present," she said softly. The teacher smiled at her. "Welcome to JSS 1A." Amaka nodded. All through the day, she didn't speak much. She listened carefully, answered questions when she was asked, and tried to copy notes quickly. The teachers seemed kind. But her heart felt like a balloon slowly losing air. At night, while the other girls talked about their homes, their parents, or the snacks their mums packed for them, Amaka lay on her bed staring at the ceiling. "I'll see them on Sunday," she whispered to herself. Maybe they just had to rush somewhere. She smiled at that thought and tried to believe it. Sunday came quickly. Parents started arriving with food flasks, drinks, and gifts. Some brought bags of provisions. The school field was full of excited voices and happy hugs. Amaka dressed in her cleanest outfit and stood near the gate, watching. Her eyes scanned every car that came in. Each time she saw a black SUV, her heart jumped. But it wasn't theirs. "Amaka Okoye," a teacher called out, "are your parents on their way?" "Yes, Ma," Amaka said, even though she wasn't sure. She waited. And waited. And waited. By evening, most of the parents had left. Only a few girls sat alone. Amaka was one of them. Auntie Sarah, one of the matrons, came to sit beside her. "Still waiting, my dear?" Amaka nodded. She didn't trust her voice. "They probably got stuck in traffic," Auntie Sarah said softly. "Maybe next week, okay?" Amaka looked down at her empty lap. "Okay." Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into a full month. Every Sunday, Amaka wore her best dress. Every Sunday, she waited by the gate. Other children laughed with their parents. Amaka smiled at them, even when it hurt. One girl, Chidinma, asked her one day, "Your parents don't like visiting?" "They travel a lot," Amaka lied. Another girl said, "My daddy is coming this weekend. He always brings jollof rice and cake. What do your parents bring?" Amaka shrugged. "They bring books. I like books." It was a lie. But it was easier than saying the truth, that no one came. No one called. No one asked about her. The school receptionist had a logbook. Each time someone got a phone call or a visitor, the name would be called on the intercom. "Precious Nwaifa, you have a call." "Bola Akinimi, your parents are at the gate." But never once. Amaka Okoye. Not even once. Auntie Sarah grew fond of Amaka. She would sometimes call her into her office and give her a biscuit or sweet. "You're a strong girl," she'd say, patting Amaka's back. "Not every child your age can carry what you're carrying." Amaka didn't fully understand. But those words stayed in her heart. Her class teacher also noticed her quietness. One day, she called her aside. Amaka, you're always on your own. Do you have any friends? Amaka shrugged. I don't know. Why don't you join the reading club? The teacher suggested. You're a smart girl. Maybe you'll like it. Amaka nodded. She joined. It helped a little. Books became her new parents. She read stories of faraway lands, of children who lost their homes but found hope. Each story felt like a little hug. Every night before bed, Amaka prayed, Dear God, please tell Mummy and Daddy to come. Maybe they forgot. Please remind them. Amen. She believed they would come one day. Maybe they were working. Maybe they were trying to surprise her. She counted the days on her calendar. 62 days now. 2 whole months. No call. No letter. But still, she hoped. Even when hope felt like a tiny candle flickering in the wind, Amaka cupped her hands around it and refused to let it go out. After 2 months of silence, Amaka decided she would write. She found a notebook with a pink cover at the school shop and bought it with the last 500 Nigerian Nairas note her mum had squeezed into her palm on drop-off day. This is for snacks, her mother had whispered. But Amaka had never gone to the tuck shop. She kept that 500 Nigerian Nairas like treasure, until now. She tore out a page, borrowed a blue pen from the girl next to her in class, and sat on her bunk bed that evening to write the first letter. Dear Mummy and Daddy, today is Sunday. I wore the pink dress Mummy packed for me. I was at the gate. I waited. I thought maybe you would come this time. But you didn't. Are you okay? Did something happen? I miss you so much. I really, really do. My teachers are nice. Some girls are not nice. They say I have no one. But I know I have you. Please come. I promise to be good. Your daughter, Amaka. She folded the letter carefully and walked to the reception where Auntie Grace, the office secretary, sat today. Please, Ma, Amaka said. Can you help me send this letter to my parents? Auntie Grace blinked and took the letter. You have their address? Amaka nodded. It's in my file. You can check. Okay, Auntie Grace said slowly. I'll see what I can do. Amaka smiled. For the first time in days, she felt a little lighter. The next week, after still hearing nothing, Amaka wrote again. Dear Mummy and Daddy, did you get my last letter? I hope you did. I hope you smiled. I got 9 out of 10 in my math test. The teacher said I did well. I still wait every Sunday. Maybe next week, right? I'm trying not to cry too much. I don't want the other girls to laugh. I miss you. I miss Mummy's perfume and Daddy's laugh when I dance. Please write me back. Love. Amaka. She wrote 5 more letters in the next 2 months. Each time, she handed them to Auntie Grace. Each time, the same response, I'll post it for you, my dear. But no letter ever came back. No reply. No phone call. Nothing. One evening, as she was walking past the reception, Amaka paused. She looked through the glass window and saw a pile of letters on the table. Her handwriting caught her eye. She squinted. Her letters, all of them, were still there. Not posted. Just stacked in a corner like forgotten laundry. Tears rushed to her eyes. She knocked. Auntie Grace looked up. Yes, dear. My letters, Amaka said, voice shaking. You said you sent them. Auntie Grace blinked, caught off guard. Oh. I've been meaning to. Just been busy. You lied, Amaka whispered. No, not really. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Amaka nodded slowly. She walked away before she could cry harder. That night, she tore out a new page from the notebook. But this time, her words were shorter. Dear Mummy and Daddy, are you still my parents? Or have you forgotten me? Love. Amaka. She didn't give that one to Auntie Grace. She folded it and kept it under her pillow. Amaka began to change. She no longer rushed to the gate on Sundays. She stopped asking for her name during roll call at the reception. She focused on school. She stopped talking about her family. The other girls noticed. Amaka never gets visitors, one girl whispered in the bathroom. She's like a ghost child, another one said. I think her parents dropped her and ran away. Amaka heard. She always heard. But she said nothing. Sometimes she would sit behind the library during break time, holding her knees and listening to the birds in the trees. She'd wonder if her parents ever sat alone like this and thought of her. Did they miss her? Did they feel sad at night like she did? Or had they simply moved on? One day, her class teacher announced that the school was organizing a letter-writing competition. The best 3 letters would be posted on the school wall and read out at assembly. You can write to anyone, the teacher said. Your parents, a best friend, even your future self. Amaka hesitated. That evening, she sat alone in the classroom and began to write. Dear future Amaka, I hope you are happy. I hope you are not still waiting at the gate every Sunday. I hope you have stopped crying at night. I hope you know that even if nobody comes for you, you are still somebody. You are still loved, maybe not by them, but maybe by someone else. I hope you still dance, and laugh, and believe. Yours always. You. Her teacher read it and wept. Amaka won first place. For the first time, people clapped for her at assembly. But her parents didn't know. Because they still hadn't written, or called, or returned. By the time Amaka entered her second term in JSS 1, she had already become the quiet one. The girl who always did her assignments, got good grades, and never had a visitor. Most of her classmates had stopped asking questions. But not everyone left her alone. In Dorm 3, there was a girl named Ifunanya, tall, strong, and loud. Everyone feared her, even the seniors. Ifunanya didn't like to be ignored, and for some reason, she didn't like Amaka. You always behave like you're better than us, she sneered one evening as Amaka folded her clothes neatly. I didn't do anything, Amaka said softly. That's the problem, Ifunanya snapped. You think you're too good to talk to us. You think being book smart makes you special. Amaka kept quiet. Her heart beat fast, but she didn't want trouble. But silence didn't protect her. One night, while everyone was preparing to sleep, Ifunanya walked up to Amaka's bunk. She picked up Amaka's bucket, walked outside, and poured the water on the floor. Amaka rushed out. Why did you do that? Ifunanya slapped her. Just like that. In front of everyone. I felt like it, she said. Some girls laughed. Others looked away. No one said anything. Amaka blinked back tears and walked away. She didn't want to report. She didn't want to look weak. But that night, under her blanket, she cried silently. After that day, Ifunanya made Amaka her personal target. She hid Amaka's socks, poured her cereal on the floor, took her toothpaste, called her names like abandoned baby and forgotten child. You think your parents are coming for you, she laughed one morning. Maybe they changed their names and moved to Ghana. Some girls laughed again. Others were silent, uncomfortable. Amaka tried to ignore her. She poured herself into her books. She cleaned her area. She prayed quietly. But pain doesn't always need noise to grow. There was one girl who watched everything. Her name was Ngozi. She had big eyes, short braids, and a kind smile. One evening after prep, she walked up to Amaka with a packet of cabin biscuits. You want some? She asked. Amaka looked up, surprised. For me? Ngozi nodded. I've been watching you. You're strong. But strong people need friends too. Amaka smiled for the first time that week. From then on, the two became close. They read together, walked together, shared biscuits and secrets. Ngozi was the first person Amaka ever told the truth to. I don't know where my parents are, Amaka whispered one night. They dropped me here and never came back. Ngozi didn't gasp. She didn't pity her. She just held Amaka's hand. I don't know my dad either, she said. He left when I was a baby. Mummy says he's somewhere in Europe. They didn't need more words. Just that moment was enough. One rainy morning, Ngozi didn't get up from bed. Her forehead was hot. She shivered even under her blanket. Amaka ran to Auntie Sarah. Ngozi is very sick, she said, panicked. The nurse came. Ngozi was taken to the school clinic. Amaka stayed outside the door the whole day. By evening, the matron came out. She has malaria. She'll be okay. But she needs to rest. Amaka nodded. She went to the hostel, packed some of her own provisions, glucose, cabin biscuits, menthol rub, and brought them to the clinic. She gave me when I was sad, Amaka said. Now I'll give her. Ngozi smiled weakly. Thank you. 1 week later, Ifunanya struck again. This time, she tore Amaka's notebook, the one with all her letters. She found it under the pillow and waved it in the air. Or, look at this. Dear Mummy and Daddy, she writes every day. But nobody replies. Girls laughed. Ngozi stood up. Give it back. What will you do? Ifunanya mocked. Ngozi tried to grab it, but Ifunanya pushed her. Ngozi fell to the floor. Something snapped in Amaka. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She walked straight to the hostel prefect and said, I want to report a bully. The next morning, the principal called them all to her office. Amaka stood with her hands clenched. She told everything. The slap. The insults. The stolen items. The bullying. Ngozi confirmed it. 2 other girls spoke up too. I saw her do it, one said. I was scared to talk before, another whispered. The principal looked at Ifunanya. Do you have anything to say? Ifunanya just rolled her eyes. You are suspended for 2 weeks, the principal said. And you will apologize to Amaka and everyone else you bullied. That afternoon, Ifunanya stood in front of the entire dorm and mumbled, sorry. It wasn't sincere, but it was enough. For the first time, Amaka felt heard, seen. Things changed after that. People started greeting Amaka with smiles. She's brave, someone said. I didn't know she was strong like that, another added. Even the seniors respected her now. Not out of fear, but out of admiration. Amaka didn't become loud or proud. She stayed quiet, focused, kind. But inside, a small fire had started to burn. A fire of self-worth. She still missed her parents. But she no longer let that pain control her. Because now, she had found her voice. The second visiting day of the year came with its usual excitement. Children wore their finest clothes. Some sprayed perfume from shared bottles. Others ran to the school gate to be the first in line. Amaka sat on the wooden bench near the flower bed, book in hand, not reading. Just waiting. She didn't hope this time. She had trained her heart not to. She told herself she was just enjoying the weather. Just listening to the birds. But deep down, the part of her that was still 10 years old, still waited. And then something strange happened. The security man walked up to her. Are you Amaka? Paul? She blinked. Yes. There's someone at the gate. Says she knows you. Her heart skipped. Who? She didn't say. Amaka followed him, confused. Her steps were slow, careful. She didn't know what to expect. At the gate stood a woman in her early 30s. She wore a long purple gown, carried a small purse, and looked like she had cried recently. Amaka froze. She didn't know the woman. But the woman smiled like she knew everything. You've grown, the woman said. Amaka blinked. Do I know you?